negative, oh my God, I'm getting older feeling in your head.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it is true. You are as old as you think. And if you think old, you will get old. So I'm saying, I'm trying to remind people that the band won't stop playing till they stop dancing, till
Okay.
you stop dancing. So, or as George Bernard Shaw put it, he said, you don't stop laughing when you get old. You get old when you stop laughing.
Mm.
You know, in other words, keep living. Everybody has a purpose in their mind, a purpose for living, and find your own purpose so that you can wake up with a smile and say, hot damn, another day, another opportunity to get out there and to see, hear, taste, touch, feel, smell, share, love, embrace, to be part of life. It's very important. And Embrace Your Age is about that. In every chapter, there's a question. Why do you exist? Uh, why don't you have more friends? How are you going to handle it when they die? I get right into it because we all have to face age, and obviously we have to cope with the fact that our DNA might say, guess what? You're going to have to deal with diabetes or heart disease. If you do, face it, confront it, say, fine, I'm going to go to this clinic or that clinic because they handle it better, and get your mind in the right place. And guess what? If you get your mind going, that's half of getting better from anything.
Yeah.
And then you could face your life. I'm currently working on a book. The newest book I'm writing, the working title is called Loving Longevity. And the subtitle is going to be, I'm 89, which I am. I'm 89 and have a 10-year plan.
Okay.
So,
There
hey,
you go.
I'm counting on it. My children, wise ass that they are, I wonder why, say, you know, gosh, a really sweet, sympathetic, conscientious father of 88, 89 would just go to bed and not wake up and
Yeah.
leave his children whatever money's left. But
Yeah.
no, not you. You'll live forever just to
Keep
spite
going.
us.
Yeah.
I told them, absolutely, which is what they want. And I'm planning on it
My
because
da-
I've got
my dad's
things to do.
Yeah, my dad's 89. I'm going to make sure he watches this interview and gets this book, both. So,
Good.
now, here's one of your previous books, by the way, Dear Old Friends. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Dear Old Friends, I actually wrote it originally as a love letter to all the friends in my life. For some reason, from the time I was a teenager, I had friends 20, 30, 40, 50 years older than I. And when I was 40 years old, I sat down one day to write a love letter to all these people who were then 60, 70, 80. And I liked it, I filed it, and I found it about 5 years ago and said, gosh, what a nice story. And I kind of brought it up to date. And it was an 80-page letter that I'd written, and I turned it into about a 120-page book. And it basically it's me remembering the wonderful effect that these older friends had on me. They told me to, turn left, turn right,
Yeah.
do this, don't do that. That's stupid, Jim, or that's brilliant, or I don't know what I would have done without you, or my life would have been probably better without you. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
They had a great influence on me.
And Jim, I want to get, you wrote some fiction books too, but before we get to that, I'm going to go back to this, your first book, Embrace Your Age. And I hear you kind of saying, make a plan for your life and live the plan. Get a 10-year plan going out there. I really like that message.
Yeah, I mean, just because you've reached 70, you say to yourself, oh, God, I can't, I better not buy anything on a long-term basis. I mean, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
Statistically, and all officials say this is true, 50% of the children born today in civilized countries are going to live to 100.
Oh boy.
Now, think of the effect of that on governments in terms of voting blocks,
Yeah.
in terms of how do you care for the people as they get older who may need medical care, and are families equipped with it, and also for people to realize that just because they're 50, they can't say, well, I'm really getting up in years. Hey, you're just at the midway point. You still have another at least 30 productive years ahead of you. I mean, I will be, I lied, I'm not 89. I won't be 89 until September 22nd.
Okay.
But I'll be 89.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me. I really don't sit around thinking, oh my God, how could I possibly be that old? To tell the truth, I didn't expect to live that long.
Right.
I mean, none of the Flaherty men lived past 60.
Wow.
And my father, because of a hospital error, died at age 47. So I thought, well, as I hit 60, I thought, well, I'm here and I'm feeling great. And at 70, I was still at it. I thought I better financially try to prepare for 80. And then at 80, I started working toward 90.
Getting ready for 90.
Because I know I'm still here.
Yeah.
And I am doing things on my creative plate because I am a writer and a public speaker. There are things that I still want to do that I haven't finished. And so therefore, I'm planning on getting the bulk of them done in the next 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
But I still would like to have my fiction books turned into TV series or into movies. I'd like to get into more public speaking because I enjoy going out on the stage after you go through the horror of wondering, did you remember to zip up your fly? But it's always, life goes on, and I want it to be full, and I want it to be interesting.
I'm going to ask you about your fiction books in a moment, but for our viewers, this is Jim's latest book, Embrace Your Age. Go order it wherever you order your books, but don't click once and order one. Click 10 times, order 10 of them, for goodness sakes, and give these things away. You know somebody that could use this book. I could use it myself. I'm 65. So
and right now, for this show, I put the price down in Amazon. It's only like $5.25 or something like that for a paperback.
Very
right?
good.
I lowered the price.
Now's the time, viewers.
Price there for it.
Now's the time. I know, Jim, we're out of time. We're way past time. But here's a couple books. I think you got Claire, and what's the next one?
Well, the first fiction novel I wrote was The Role of a Lifetime, which I didn't think of it at the time, but then somebody asked me to summarize it, and it basically is a contemporary My Fair Lady. But it's a good story. It's a good read, and it's about the girl who's nowhere, a nobody from nowhere, who reinvents herself and becomes, the top of the world and marries a prince, and life goes on. It's very interesting. And the other is a different kind of woman. It's a woman who has it all, and I've named her Claire, and it's called Wife, Mother, Mistress, Murderer.
Oh, boy.
And it talks about her life. She's beautiful, she's successful, and all the different things that happen to her. For the cover of that, I use an old painting of my younger daughter, my baby daughter, who is 62 years old.
Okay.
And still very beautiful. And I showed her the book when it was finished, and she looked at it because it says Wife, Mother, Mistress, Murderer, and she said,
boy.
well, I've never murdered anyone.
Or has she? There's a question mark there. James, we're way past time, but I want to give you a moment. Any thoughts you want to share about your books, your life? Any message to our viewers?
Well, no, I'd love you to read the books. I also, if there's somebody out there, one of the hardest things in life, somebody said, Jim, you really need an agent. I said, I think it would be easier to get the Pope to come to a meeting in New York and bless my dinner than to find a meaningful agent.
Yeah.
When you are nobody. I'm a successful nobody. But I really need a wonderful agent who can say, okay, I'll look at your books. I also have an original TV series that I've written
Okay.
and a screenplay in my portfolio. And I would love to talk to somebody and show them and say, look at this. I believe, and I have a very commercial head because I was a madman
Yeah,
in New
that's
York
right.
City for many years, that they would be successful.
Yeah. Well, you got ready-made products. So if you're an agent out there, we got a guy with the products all ready to go. Thank you, James. And I hope you'll come again. You're one of my favorite guests to talk to.
I love to be on screen with you, Mike,
All right.
anytime.
We'll be back with more authors right after this. Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. This show is business, real estate, events, investing, anything you do with money, insurance. We talk about all kinds of topics that have to do with you spending money, with you keeping money, keeping what's yours, and maybe spending a little less. We've asked an expert on all these topics to come onto our show. Welcome, Brian Christopher Murphy. Brian, welcome.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good. We're in Central California here. Where are you?
I'm in Vicksburg, Mississippi. It's about west central Mississippi, right on the river on I-20, about 3 hours from the coast.
I guess the principles are the same whether you're in Mississippi or in California about investing, spending, keeping hold of your money, putting it in the right place.
Yeah, pretty much. I know your tax rates out there in California are a lot higher,
Yeah.
California and New York. But yeah, the principles are all the same, and of course California's got really a interesting market because it seems like a lot of people are leaving California. They're going to Texas. Why Texas? I'm not sure, but I know the exodus from the state is not such that you're seeing a negative.
Yeah.
A lot of people are leaving, but it's not like the state's draining.
I
The
think
numbers are not dropping that significantly, and there are always people moving to California as well. So.
Well, I think Elon Musk might be moving out of California or moving his companies to Texas or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard about that. He's building a new gigafactory. I'm not sure if they're going to build cars there or if that's his new factory for robots.
Huh.
There's supposed to be robots available coming out for like $10,000 to $20,000. Kind of for at-home use, or I'm not sure what I would use one for, but they're coming out on the market in a few years, and that may be something a good early-in investor for somebody that's got a nice nest egg and that wants to put some money somewhere. I know previously we talked about not putting your money in the bank. You want to put it somewhere where you're hedged against inflation. Because interest rates the prime going to zero really kind of threw savers under the bus.
Right. No incentive to save anymore.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say, don't save, but just make sure your interest rate that you're getting from your account is, at or better than, where inflation is. Last I looked, it was at 2.9, but interest rates are still, I think, around 0.25%, maybe 1%. I haven't looked at my interest-bearing accounts to see what they're getting, but yeah, you want to be hedged against inflation. Otherwise, money in the bank is losing money. But I always advise people, you can put money in CDs and bonds and things that are safe.
Yeah.
But then you're locking your capital up for a number of years. So that's more long-term investing. They do have, 5-year bonds, 1-year bonds, but it should be in something where you're hedged against inflation.
Yeah.
And preferably put it into something where you're actually growing.
Yeah. What about something like gold?
Gold's always make for a great investment. Gold, silver, any kind of precious gems, precious metals. I advise those not so much a way to invest and make money, but if you want to park some money.
Park some money there.
If you want it to hold its value, then gold and silver are a good place to put it. The gold, silver prices, there's other metals you can buy into. And actually a way to avoid all the high fees and buying gold is, if you've got that kind of money, is buy a contract for physical gold. And then you can actually take possession of it if you want, and
wow.
they can put it in a vault for you.
Yeah, that's nice.
But technically, if you were to buy the contract, make some money then, and then sell it before the contract becomes due and it's delivered.
So you never have to take
then
possession.
you
That way.
avoid all the fees that are associated with investing in gold.
What about Bitcoin?
Bitcoin I've seen going up and down quite a bit, like as much as 5% in a day. Which 5%, if you got quite a bit, you could be making a little. You can day trade Bitcoin and other things as well, but the amount of money you would have to put into play to really see any kind of daily returns as far as day trading would have to be a significant amount, and there's always that risk that with the volatility in the digital coin markets, you could lose a lot of money really quick as well.
I heard Robert Kennedy, runner for president, said he's going to go, take the money from the United States Treasury and go all into Bitcoin. And I heard Donald Trump say something like that as well. Do we see that affecting the value or strengthening the product?
Yeah, because I believe that what will happen, should they do that, and essentially Bitcoin would then effectively have the backing of the U.S. government. Well, that's going to spur a lot of interest and likely shoot it higher. So if you see that as potential investment, then you're going to want to get in before they make that announcement. Because once they do, the price is going to shoot up. So, you might make a small investment. I would not invest anything that you couldn't afford to lose, kind of like going to the casino. But, if you believe, that's going to happen, if you do end up doing that, then, that could end up being a good opportunity to get in, make some good money, and then pull back out. But just keep a very close eye on it. Lose money.
By the way, I tried the casino the other day as a way of investing, and it did not pay off at all. So,
no, that's kind of more what we call around here in the South redneck retirement planning. I think you're going there. You might have better odds there for redemption and salvation than you may have elsewhere. But again, it's a crapshoot, literally.
Literally a crapshoot. Funny though, every single friend of mine, when they come back for the casino, they told me how much they win. So it seems like nobody ever loses but me. So.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like going fishing. They always tell you about how much money they won. They don't tell you how much money they lost before they had that win.
That's right.
So maybe they won 5,000, but they actually were down, 5,500 at the time. So the winnings were really only 500.
So talk about putting money.
Like 50 stories.
Talk about putting money to hedge against inflation. A simple bank account is not good for that. I guess real estate, would you say real estate is still a good bet for hedging against inflation?
Well, they do have REIs or REFTs or something. Real estate REITs,
right,
real estate investment trusts that you can invest in to where it's more of a crowdfunding approach to where it's not just your money, a lot of other people in it too. There are real estate trusts you can invest in where more or less you're going in with a big group of other people.
Right.
So you can invest in things like commercial and industrial properties, and because let's say you don't have the money to buy a manufacturing complex, but the group does. And you can kind of look at what are they investing in, whether it's apartments, it's residential, it's commercial, it's industrial, and kind of get in on it, without having to lay out a lot of capital. And of course, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Some diversification is good. Actually, when COVID hit and that big dip happened, my advice to people was, buy the dip, watch it, don't sell off, but if anything, watch the dip. If you feel like it's about down, buy some more and then watch it pop, because it popped right back up.
Right.
It's just that initial shock, because it shut everything down. My primary background is supply chain transportation logistics. You can't just shut supply chains down and think you're going to start them right back up again.
Now,
but that was a good time to buy the dip.
Right before we went on the air, I looked at your website, and we have the web address on the screen here. But then I went to your YouTube channel. I found that very interesting as well. There's a lot of stuff on there. Some clips of you on different shows.
Yeah, I'm guesting. I've been doing guest spots. That PAR interview, it started out just an initial interview because Power Race Radio is out of the UK. And of course, the UK is, the Commonwealth is 94 different countries. And they're primarily radio, but they have a video presence as well. But that's actually turned into a regular recurring spot. And I do talk a lot about what my background is and different companies I own and invested in, and kind of what I do, but also giving people investing advice. And it's an international audience, so I'm not real concise in my answers, and I do offer people the opportunity to consult with me one-on-one. Of course, first consultation is free, and I'd love to come and speak at different events and give keynotes, and I have a passion for speaking and inspiring people, and and you can see in those PAR interviews that I spread a message of unity and creating synergy, people cooperating, working together, making the world a better place. And I do a lot of charity and philanthropic work. Probably my favorite, I'm patron to the Wounded Warrior Project, which is all about helping service disabled veterans and their families, and as well as a few other charities like Ronald McDonald House, and prevention of abuse of children and animals is also something near and dear to my heart.
Now, did I hear you're going to start your own show or a more regular presence?
Yep, I actually have my own show that's going to be coming out on To Inspire TV and Motivation and Success TV on their streaming platforms, with additional exposure on Roku TV, Apple TV. Should be available in the channel stores on like Roku, Fire Stick. Those, we just began production, so I don't have a launch date, and the working title right now is How Can I Help?
Very good. Very good.
So, I'm excited about that. Is just, because I've shifted from doing to teaching and mentoring, consulting, speaking, because I've made my money at 58. Now I want to help other people make their money and, make their dream life come through. Because it's really, to me, just a 1, 2, 3 process. The hardest part is figuring out what you want. But once you figure that out, house, car, clothes, lifestyle, well, go out and pick out what you want and then get it and pay for it. And I kind of walk you through the process, and then we'll get into that in the show, how to find it, where to get it, how to pay for it.
Right. I've been interested in watching some of your videos on how to get into a house, how to get the interest rate, buying cars. You have information out there on that. A lot of ways people should look at a little differently when approaching these things.
Yeah, I'm really just kind of getting the channel going, but those 3 interviews, plus I've got these spots on there, and I'm adding more as I have time to really. I want to give people an actionable blueprint on how they can take the steps necessary to get out there and get the life of their dreams, and live the American dream. But like I say, starting with home, car, job, passive income, which for those who don't know, passive income is making money that does not require you to work.
Yep.
Like you're retired and you have Social Security or 401k or a pension. That's passive income.
Yep. Best kind, by the way. My favorite kind. Brian, we're way past time. They're signaling me to get off. I can't stop talking to you. You're too interesting. But give us one last thought on spending money, what young people should do with their money, how they should hold on to it. Should they spend it all? Should they save it? What should they do?
Well, typically, you're going to, my advice is start out. There's 2 books I recommend, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Begin your investing journeys there because that's where I started mine.
Nice.
Those 2 books will really open your eyes quite a bit. And then also look at, buying a home, buying a business with no money down, because there's ways to do it, without, having to spend a lot of money up front.
Yeah.
There's low interest loans for veterans, for minorities, for women business, so there's boatloads of opportunities. Whatever you want to do, the money is out there. It's like I had a banker tell me one time, as long as the deal just makes sense and your credit's good, you'll get the money.
You'll get it, yeah. You'll figure it out. Brian, you're kind of inspirational because you're not just saying it, you've done it, and now you're helping other people do it. And we're looking forward to having you on our show more. And I'm anxious to watch your show on Roku. I have all those platforms you mentioned, so I'll be able to watch it. So thank you, Brian, and hopefully we'll have you back in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah, because one of the things my parents taught me is if you want to learn something, talk to the people who are doing it.
Yeah. Some people already know the answers. You don't have to figure them out yourself, right?
Yeah, there we go.
All right, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And what was the other?
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
All right. For our viewers, stick around. This has been Brian Christopher Murphy. Go to his web address, check out his YouTube channel, and we'll be back with more authors right after this. Welcome back to Briggs on Books. If you're about to pick the next book you're going to read, hang on, because I've got a pretty exciting book for you. And I guess it's a novel, but it sounds like it could be real with things going on in our universe right now. By the way, here's the book. I'm not even going to try the title. We're going to make the author say it. I just happen to have the author here as well. Welcome, Susie J.
Hello.
Tell our viewers the name of the book.
It's The Darkness of Ragnarok, Shadows of Midgard.
Okay, and it's set in modern times, I'd imagine.
Yes.
But it also pulls from the past and mysteries and the old gods, etc. Tell us a little bit about the book.
Oh gosh, there is so much in it. So Ragnarok is actually the reorder of the cosmos in the gods' worlds in Norse mythology. So, and that hits our planet in the form of a comet storm. Our planet in Norse is Midgard. So what happens is with the reorder of the cosmos, of course, our sun is pulled out of orbit and it plunges our world into darkness. And within the darkness comes everything that is unseen. So you've got some pretty terrible things out there that's going to try and ruin your day for you as well. There's a scientific team in the States that work for the nuclear energy and scientific technology. And that's based in Idaho Falls, which it actually is there. But just north of that is Test Area North, which is where it chose to put the underground government facility. Now, the team of scientists that are working on the crystal skulls, which the government has procured from private collections. And then